This morning, a deadly arson case moves forward in court after investigators say a man might have killed his two sons. And renovations turned a relic of the past into a new experience for Eastern Kentuckians to visit.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning and a happy Tuesday to you, Mountain family. I'm Amelia Lee here with you on this May 6th. The time now 5:30 this morning. And Megan, I do have to say I have been very happy with this colder weather that we've been having. It's been a nice break. I only saw, I think maybe it was Sunday later on this week where we have that 79, which I'm not a fan of at all.
You know, it's funny you say that. When you were gone, we were talking about how happy and how much you'd approved this weather, so I'm glad to hear that from your mouth. Yes, it is an Amelia-approved day. We're going to see those cooler temperatures not only this morning, but as we head into the afternoon. Now, we do have some rain chances, unfortunately. As you're traveling more towards the southeast, towards that Kentucky, Tennessee, and Virginia border, we're seeing the most widespread chance of rain that we have all day long. Now, this will move out and clear by the time we're heading into that 9 o'clock mark with some more chances of rain to follow. Here's a look at current temperatures, 40s. I mean, it's cold. It's not too bad, though, as we do see some 50s out there. 50 degrees for Jacksboro and Monticello, and this afternoon hitting the upper 60s and low 70s. And just as Amelia mentioned, we do have some warming as we're heading through the next couple of days, seeing the possibilities for upper 70s towards the end of that 7-day. Here's a look at Tuesday's forecast. High temperatures around that 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and pretty much a partly cloudy day. Amelia.
A man charged in connection with a deadly fire appeared before a judge in Franklin County yesterday. Dustin Fields was charged with arson after his two sons died in a fire last week. Investigators say a canine detected evidence of accelerants on his shoes at different places within the home and where the two bodies were found. Relatives say that the boys were 13 and 15 years old. A preliminary hearing was scheduled for next Tuesday. Deputies say more charges could be filed against Fields. In Logan County, West Virginia, 3 people are facing charges after police say they found drugs and cash. After police conducted a traffic stop in the Chapmanville area Sunday, they say they detected an odor of marijuana coming from the vehicle. Police say more than 400 grams of drugs were found, as well as nearly $10,000 in cash. Melissa Maynard, Terrence Clifford, and Garland McCraney were taken to the Southwestern Regional Jail. 2 men are facing charges after police found narcotics and cash on them in Lawrence County. Police executed a search warrant at 200 Copper Road in connection to an ongoing drug investigation last week. During their search, police found roughly 4 ounces of meth as well as marijuana and more than $5,300 in cash. A Laurel County man is facing charges after police say they responded to an armed suspicious person's complaint. Deputies were called to Little Arthur Ridge Road Sunday night. When they arrived, they tried to make contact with Leighton McQueen, but he started evading them on foot. Police later arrested McQueen after they found him hiding in a brushy area. Police say McQueen threatened them and even struck the protective cage in a police cruiser. When weather disasters hit, oftentimes victims not only see damage to their homes, but they can lose photos and important memorabilia. But a program being offered this week is looking to give people back some hope in holding on to those family treasures in Central Kentucky. Danny Bernardi with FEMA says they're now introducing the Save Your Family Treasures program, bringing in environmental and historic preservation teams to showcase techniques to salvage a variety of damaged memorabilia. A beloved green space in Hazard is getting a new lease on life after being closed for years. The Bobby Davis Museum and Park is back open to the public. WYMT's Caroline Mueller spoke with the woman leading the charge to bring it back to life.
The Bobby Davis Museum and Park first opened in 1947. Founded by Lawrence Davis as a memorial to his son and other fallen veterans during World War II. But the COVID-19 pandemic forced its doors closed in 2020. Since then, community leaders and volunteers worked to bring it back, including Envision Hazard Director Stacy Fugit.
With closing a building and it being closed for 5 years, there's a lot of work that goes into not only sorting through the items that are in there, but really just cleaning up like literally like dust, like cleaning up the building itself and the park.
Fugit says the reopening would not be possible without help from local partnerships, and her goal is to make the space a community hub once again.
We want it to be a space where people can gather and really just bring life back into the park. So we are going to partner with the Southeast Kentucky African American Museum and Cultural Center, the Red Spotted Newt for book signings, the Appalachian Arts Alliance for overflow event space. And so there are just a lot of potential opportunities for partnerships. We want it to be open to anyone, but we also want it to be valued.
But to keep the doors open, community support is key. She says when applying for grants, things like the number of people who use the space are often considered.
By just coming out and supporting events that are held there, that's a number in a grant that you can contribute to, even if it's just you showing up.
For Fugit, this project hits close to home. She is from Hazard and tells me she grew up going to Bobby Davis Museum Park, making this work a full circle moment.
Fugit says the museum will have rotating exhibits and they hope folks will use it for all kinds of events like weddings, baby showers, and more. Transportation cabinet officials say folks should plan for delays on a section of Kentucky 15 later this week. Crews with Kentucky Power will be installing overhead transmission lines at mile point 22.1 tomorrow. Officials say traffic stoppages of up to 15 minutes between 9 in the morning and 5 in the evening are likely in northern Perry County. Transportation officials are reminding folks that Kentucky 3193 in Breathitt County will be closed throughout the day until Friday. The road will be closed from 8 in the morning until 5 in the evening because of pavement repairs. Drivers can use Kentucky 205 as an alternate route. Transportation cabinet officials also say crews will perform a bridge inspection in Laurel County later this week. That's scheduled for Wednesday on the US 25 bridge over Rockcastle River. The work is scheduled for 9 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon and result in traffic being reduced to 1 lane. May is Stroke Awareness Month, a time to get familiar with the signs and symptoms of a stroke. A stroke happens when a blood vessel that is delivering oxygen and nutrients to the brain becomes blocked by a clot or it breaks open. As a result, that part of the brain then loses blood and oxygen, causing the brain cells to become damaged or even die. When someone is experiencing a stroke, the best thing you can do is get them to medical professionals as soon as possible.
Every second that we delay care, we lose 1.9 million brain cells. That's a lot. So cell damage is happening inside the brain. Treatment windows are closed. Recovery and outcomes are poor. So 911, call every single time so that we can take good care of you.
According to the American Health Association, a stroke is a leading cause of death and disability in the U.S. In Kentucky, stroke is the 6th leading cause of death. The Patty A. Clay Auxiliary in Richmond is preparing for its annual charity ball next month. The night features food, drinks, and celebration, with the focus being on raising money for Baptist Health Richmond. PACA volunteers host events like the charity ball to raise money to support the welfare of patients and staff at the hospital.
And the money stays right here, which is so rare and so important because we've been able to add so many neat and special, just over-the-top patient experiences.
Money raised from past PACA charity balls went towards the hospital's maternity ward and beautification projects. The ball will be hosted on June 21st. Yesterday, the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife Resources auctioned off hunting and fishing equipment. These are items that were either surplus or confiscated during investigations. Items range from crossbows, guns and stands to ATVs and pickup trucks. The auction gives people a chance to buy discounted gear they could use for work or even recreation.
No, it's actually my first auction. Yeah, so this is a really good experience, trying to really gauge the market and see how the process goes. I know there are more later in the year. There's going to be another one later this year, so I'll be coming to that. But this one will give me some good, good educational experience.
The auction was outdoors at the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife headquarters in Frankfort. Anyone can bid on surplus items, but only Kentucky residents can bid on the confiscated items. Everyone who buys a firearm must also pass a background check. It's 5:40. A Commonwealth collaboration led to a native designer creating a dress for Miss Kentucky.
And I'll line up this week's rain chances up next.